Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Welcome back. We've been back to present another Star Trek rewatch of Discovery. Mitch had some sort of paraphernalia up there.
I did. I was just looking at something. So there you go.
Oh, is that a Power Records album?
Yes. Neil Adams draws Star Trek. So it's kind of, you can't see it because of the green screen, but
you know, for being a low budget production, not on the art side, but certainly the dramatizations they had on the album, reasonable versions of Kirk and Spock. Obviously not the real guys, but you know,
better than Discovery.
This is true. Hey, man, off the bat, we want to wish Langley to get well soon. He's in the hospital. Yeah, and he says he's got sickle cell anemia, and he's been in severe pain for a week or more, so I couldn't put it off. Dude, I'm glad you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Hey,
you mean
get the treatment you need, man. I know everyone is nervous about going to the hospital now, but you got. I mean, good Lord, a speedy recovery, dude. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Absolutely, speedy recovery.
Is that tonight's message or last week's message?
No, that's right now.
Oh, he's in the hospital.
He's
right
watching
now.
us. He's watching us live.
Oh,
man.
So yeah, man, seriously, that's rough, and we certainly sympathize, and we want you well because we need your comments every week.
We need you to hate the show with us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
We need 3 other people to watch this and listen to us yell. So.
No, we'll get better, buddy. Absolutely, just listen to us rant for an hour because we got plenty to rant about. We got 2 episodes to rant about this week, and I literally just finished watching Sanctuary. The latest episode is that 8? Yes, episode 8.
Ocho.
Yeah.
So,
did she cry in this one? I'm just thinking.
She did not cry in this one.
Okay. It was a different story.
She almost did.
Oh, okay.
She cries kind of teary. Yeah.
Well,
can I say right off the bat that since we missed the last episode or talking about the last episode and this episode, dare I say I liked them a little bit better. They were better. I know. They were better episodically.
Yeah.
They were better in terms of being Star Trek but I didn't like either one.
Well, Jonathan Frakes directed tonight's episode.
Oh, I didn't notice. That's cool.
Yeah, it looked a little when they were walking down the corridors talking. I go, oh well, he did this like every week for 8 years, 7 years, or whatever. So.
Well, and also he's really he does come up with interesting camera angles and things. So I do prefer, from a visual standpoint, a lot of his episodes.
Yeah. It looked nice. Tonight's episode looked nice. It's a shitty story, but it looked okay. So if you can't say something nice, my mom would say. You
know. Okay, Langley's got a comment because I do want to. Before we get into tonight's, much happened last week.
Yeah,
that made me just quiver with anger. But Langley says, I saw last week, not this week. Last week was a decent episode until 8 more qualified officers begged Ensign Tilly to be first officer. I lost my mind. Totally, and that's a great place to start.
Look at my name.
Yeah, look at my name. Captain Franco. Exactly.
Should I do it, guys? Should I?
I am the least qualified, least experienced officer, and I have nothing against the character. I like the character, but let's make her almost captain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, yeah,
if he gets taken out, she's in charge.
Right. No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. No. I hate the way this show plays to the audience and flies in the face of what would normally be Starfleet protocol.
I was going to say, can I tell you why I really hate it? Why I really hated that? Because Saru has been so orderly in terms of Star Trek regulations that we should be doing this, we should be doing this. Michael Burnham, you should have followed regulations. And then he does this? Like, what?
What, you mean put her as the first officer?
Yeah.
Her
whole laundry list of, sir, I love Michael more than anything in the universe.
But I can't.
But she crossed the line, and now she puts you in jail. Oh, you're right. And it's like, those are amazing observations. No, they're not. They're fucking normal.
Yeah, but
any Starfleet person that has been through normal Starfleet, I don't know what the fuck this shit is. Yeah. But it's like, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm a lieutenant, and I have more field time, bridge time, experience, and everything else. And you're letting Ensign Knucklehead be the first officer because she agrees with you on how to handle Lord God Burnham?
Could have been eyepiece. It could have been black guy. Could have been the other guy. It could have been the blonde girl who's always sitting in the chair that we don't know.
And they said her name last week, Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer, yeah. But I looked. She was on season 2. I went back. That's how bored I was last week. I started watching season 2 to see if it was any better.
You're a better man than we are.
And I go, no.
You're the first one to complain every week about watching a new one. And you're watching old ones? Jesus Christ.
There's a gaseous cloud behind you, like that thing that sucked the salt out of people's bodies.
I live in my apartment, Mitch. I do a lot of video here. I don't know if you knew that.
It's just like glowing behind you. I don't know what's going on back there.
No, it's like a weird light reflection.
Oh, all right. Just to make sure.
Every now and then my arm. There you go. You can see it on my fist. Yeah.
That's the thing that got the Farragut, man. Just want to make sure.
It's the COVID. It's my active COVID showing.
Anyway, who else is capable of being number 1 on that ship?
Anybody on the bridge except for her.
Yes.
Oh, and also down in engineering. There's a whole bunch
of
people
guy,
down there too.
The lizard guy. There's the reptilian guy who's malting.
Who keeps beaming? Is he the same guy that they're saying is malting and he needs
his face off?
Yeah.
But they don't have a name for him.
No, they called him Merv or something. I forget.
They called him. They called
Merv.
him something.
It was like someone, Merv. I forget what his name is. But
if we're going to start last week, John, who played the lead Vulcan? Her face was recognizable. I thought she was like a famous actress. I'm like,
could be. Well, it's like David Cronenberg showing up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say also how convenient that her mom is here. Mom.
Yeah. What is that about? Okay. I was going to ask you about that. How old are these people?
In fairness, and I can't believe I'm saying something in fairness, but
I agree
they were following her trajectory.
Yep.
So I suppose, much like Kirk and Spock being led to McCoy in whatchamacallit, On the Edge of Forever, City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
That maybe the Time Eddies sent them in the same general direction.
I totally agree with you.
Okay.
But why did she wind up on Navarre or Vulcan, Prime or whatever?
Right, and also
New Vulcan,
as I'm sure you guys are aware, the nun sect that she is a part of from Picard.
Right,
but human being aren't the Romulans, and I understand the nuns are a little more trusting of humans than the rest of even that Vulcan colony that we see, or Romulan colony in Picard. But I don't buy that this ancient Romulan sect is going to be, hey, welcome. Sure, you're one of us now. How you doing?
Yeah, maybe she wanted to shoot herself in the head like that crazy one did during Picard when they found out what the secret was.
Oh, that's right. And by the way, Langley is correct. Debbie Downer pardon me, is
don't die, John.
Yeah, she was the cyborg.
She was?
Yeah, it's the same actor. Someone else had told me that too.
The one that got replaced that left.
Yeah,
that's her?
Blaine Dowler, and I've got a great review of last week from Blaine that I'm happy to share. But yeah, he pointed that out to me when we talked over the weekend because he was all excited that he had caught up.
She was the one that had the long funeral for and decided to bring her back. But
yes,
does the rest of the crew know that it's her?
No, she's a different character.
I mean,
well, the doctor came back from the dead, and who knows?
Maybe
I know, but
maybe the makeup was too much of a pain in the ass, and whatever.
It's odd that they kept her on the show.
No, and I think that's great. I think
it's great that as her character is in the alien suit, we get the longest funeral ever.
Yeah.
But now that she's in human form, I don't know who the hell she is.
Wah, wah. Every time, it's just her hair, the way she looks.
No, absolutely.
Like, wah, wah.
Well, let me hold on because I want to read what Blaine said because it'll give us a good laundry list of last week and the things that he didn't like. So first of all, he says Tilly is first officer because she can cope. Coping is decidedly not her best thing. Did Saru mix her up with Mirror Tilly? Completely blown opportunity to expand on another member of the bridge crew, like the woman at the ops station, where the second officer has been stationed before. That is that woman that we're talking about right now. That is Lieutenant Joan. No, excuse me. He's talking about Dreadlock Girl, who he looked up her name, Lieutenant Joan Awosakan, like an African name. And he says, I needed IMDb to know that, which is a problem. But he's right, because that's where Sulu would be stationed.
Right.
And Sulu was second officer.
Right.
So
okay.
and then he says, let me, because really, forgive me, I just want to get through all his points, and then let's talk about a lot of this stuff. He said even Detmer, Eyepiece Girl, would have been a better choice, despite her issues, which might ramp up the tension since the audience doesn't know what's wrong with her. But he's like, once again, only Michael Burnham can get us to the next stage. That's getting tiresome. What I would have done as a showrunner is make this story season 4. For season 3, steal the story structure from The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin, where essentially he says it would have been cool to have alternating episodes where Burnham and Discovery aren't together right away, and we're watching Michael's year coping with the new reality, and Discovery's year coping with the new reality, and at the end, the stories come together. Interesting idea. But I want to see if he had anything else to say about before we get into the Romulans. And he says this show feels like it's in debt. It's borrowed far more from the bank of canon and goodwill than it's contributed. Though it'd be funny if they finish rebuilding the Federation only to have everything vanish when Riker says computer and program it and walks off the holodeck.
Yeah.
So, no, he had nothing else to say about Romulan and Vulcan. All right, so let's continue. But I thought those are great observations from Blaine.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, anybody else on that bridge would have been called up before Tilly. But I like Tilly as a character. I like her bumbliness and her not being very sure of herself. I like all those traits. I know you guys don't like her.
No, she's okay.
But I like her character. But even me liking her character, to have her picked up to be first number one, ridiculous. I was like, what are you doing?
It's like making Chris Farley the vice president. It's like, he's a nice guy, Tommy but Boy. If the president goes out, Tommy Boy's in charge? Nah, that ain't gonna happen. It's not a fat joke. Boy. It's not. It's just the way she's like, I don't know what to do. It's a good old bump.
Yeah, but I mean,
you guys want.
Certainly this week, and I still want to stick with last week, but regarding her as first officer, she's got the captain's agenda quite well in hand. You got to do this, you got to do that. So and so wants to meet you. Whatever. More than I've ever seen any other first officer.
Organized.
I mean, that's why she's almost more Yeoman Rand than she is a first officer, because that's the kind of shit that Yeoman Rand would be in charge of rather than Spock. So
well, you know what the problem is? Saru shouldn't be the captain. He should be a first officer. And they don't have a captain.
No, they don't.
That's the problem with the show. I was thinking about that tonight because, believe it or not, this was a filler episode.
I have a.
Let him finish.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, There was nothing that really happened tonight except for 6 different little stories that they strung together and called it an episode.
Are we talking about tonight's or last week?
I was going to say, to go back to Saru, the reason why Tilly doesn't work as a first officer is there's too many damn characters on the show, and it came home tonight when I was watching it. Like the old show, 3 people: Kirk, Spock, McCoy. Voyager, you had 3 or 4. There's too many.
But Next Generation had a lot of people too.
But
but I disagree, Mitch. I'm sorry, I disagree.
Data, Riker, and Picard were the focus.
No, you had Crusher episodes, you had Worf episodes,
but not
you had Deanna episodes. Absolutely, I'm sorry, Mitch, you're wrong.
And all of them tonight were at the same time.
To be in this position,
I kind of like that about the.
There are episodes like that in the other shows. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that's not true.
I liked that about the episode, but to go back to
last week about Saru, but yeah, no, and I do want to pick this up later. Go ahead.
To go back to your point about Saru being captain, I have a solution. You just make Tilly the captain.
Right?
Why not at this point?
Yeah, at this point, just make her the captain.
Lower Decks has lowered all the aspirations for fleet officers now, so it's like whatever. Whoever wants to be in charge, you could do it.
Again, all right, Dante, because you may not have been here earlier. Yes. The lights hit some of the aspects of my apartment weird, and so it looks like I've got kryptonite baking.
Take on me video.
Or maybe, or it's the matter antimatter.
Someone's transporting in.
That too. Yeah, it's Starfleet, taking me away from being so negative about this fucking show.
You would think after having Captain Pike lead that ship for we don't know what a year or 2 weeks, I don't know anymore, that it would have rubbed off on that crew. Like, this is how a real Starfleet captain acts, for fuck's sakes, know?
Didn't we discuss that one episode where the admirals, the modern, the future admiral's security officer is talking to Stamets, and she's like, what's with this crew? Everyone's yelling at them. It's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
And it's fuck you. You're in goddamn Starfleet. You're the wackiest ship in Starfleet. It's like, give me a goddamn break.
USS Love Boat. That sounds like a show. Yeah.
Don't you? That was an old movie, The Wackiest Ship in the Navy.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So, no, it's ridiculous. It's like, we're fuck-ups. We don't care. Right. And it's like, well, we do. I do.
Start with last week's episode where apparently Michael Burnham's smarter than the entire Vulcan Science Academy and figured out everything by herself.
With all the stupid elements added into that episode, I did like that she got dressed down quite a bit in that episode because it was finally not only by her, by everybody. Because Saru came back at her too, and everything. So she got dressed down. Tilly got dressed down at her too. Before that. So I liked. That's the only thing I liked about that episode.
Right, because it acknowledged what all of us that are frustrated by this new show are saying. However, she still ended up being the smartest person in the room and saved the day. So yes, we hear what you're saying, but we're still right. She's the best. And it's just like, you guys are fucking morons. You don't know how to write. The shit when they showed Spock from Unification. No, I didn't like it because, I'm so proud of my brother that guys, the entire thing, and it proved it last week. I'm sorry, it is a phrase that woke people hate. She's a goddamn Mary Sue.
I've said that before, and you yelled at me about it.
I love that.
People don't like it.
I love that you just went like this. And that encapsulated everything for me.
Well, here's the best one. When that Spock conversation he was having with Picard, wasn't that when they were like in the caves?
Yes.
Over Romulus? Who the fuck was recording it? That's what I'm watching.
They had cameras in the caves.
Oh, sure. And I'm sitting there going, where was the camera the whole time? Because it was good lighting on them, It's like,
and again, I'm glad you mentioned it because that's exactly what's wrong with this show. It's like fan service. This doesn't make sense. Fan service?
That's not fan service.
Sure
Marvel does fan service right. The Mandalorian does fan service right.
No, I'm not saying that it's done. I'm not saying that it's done properly, but that's why they're doing it. That's clearly why they're doing it. God, when they teased last week's episode and you saw Baby Spock and Baby Burnham having playing footsie or whatever the hell they were playing. I think they were playing Vulcan Twister.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine, we're gonna get a kid flashback, and then to see Spock, it's Ambassador Spock's sister.
The fact that they remembered him so much after 900 years was like, oh wait, you're his sister. that we never heard of before. Come on down. And I'm like, they don't supposed to know about her. How did they know?
They don't know. They don't know her. There. They don't know about her throughout the whole lineage of Star Trek. But when we get 3,000 years in the future, suddenly they know about her.
Oh, we heard about you. Come on.
Here's another thing. And again, God bless Rob Meyer Burnett, because he thinks of things beyond the obvious that we're yelling about that had never occurred to me. So they've refitted Discovery with all this modern technology.
With the gel. Yeah.
And the nacelles.
And the
detachable nacelles.
Thank you, detachable nacelles. I'm so angry I can't even think of words.
But it has it.
You should have made the nacelles the first officer.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What?
Because also Adira, human Trill, was able to re-engineer the spore drive to make it more comfortable for Stamets and everything.
Right.
They've got all this replication technology. Why didn't they tear Discovery apart, replicate the spore drive, which solves the deep space problem like that? You know why they didn't do it? Because they don't want that solution, but they have painted themselves in a corner with all these parameters, so they're kind of stuck with, oh, I hope nobody notices that. But we do notice because we give a shit.
Well, no, they wouldn't be able to use it because Stamets is the only one to drive it. They're looking for an alternate solution to drive it.
But they also could take his DNA and synthesize it. I mean, again, it's 900 plus years in the future, and they are having 23rd century problems still. That makes no sense.
I have no objection to them killing Stamets.
I don't either.
Why?
Well, to get his blood, to use his blood and just use him.
Yeah, just dissect him. Give a piece of him on every ship.
Langley's right. Why isn't the crew in the new uniforms if they're now part of Starfleet?
Did anyone else think those new uniforms look like tracksuits? Tonight, I'm watching it. Go, what are they like? Running, jogging, or something?
They're normal. They're normal uniforms.
Burnham looks like she's wearing sneakers, right?
Yeah, she was wearing sneakers. Yeah,
Burnham looks like she's wearing sneakers.
When either in the first or second season. There was a shot of Ash Tyler in the cafeteria with his feet up, and I zoomed in on the sneakers because they have the same gold trim as the uniforms, and it's like, why? Like this is the kind of attention to detail they do pay attention to, as opposed to let's get Star Trek right. No, you better not.
Why wouldn't the uniforms even look more like Pikes and number ones from the Cage than they would like some track?
You know that answer because there was that whole. I'll answer. Let me answer first. The reason why is because there was the schism between Paramount and CBS and the whole thing of two things. One, they didn't want because even as they brought back Pike and his the look that he had in second season and stuff, it was different from the Cage, and I think a lot of it is merchandising, and I also think it's there was the whole rights issue that stuff produced by J.J. Abrams and Alex Kurtzman had to be 25% different from existing Star Trek. I don't know why, but apparently that has been the persistent thing, that these subtle differences were from a rights issue that it had to be different.
I didn't know that was the uniform.
But also in one of the earlier seasons of Discovery, didn't they also talk about, like, I think when Pike came on, he made mention of the uniforms and why they're different. Every ship had its own variation of the uniform, which I thought was stupid because, back in Picard time or whatever, like everybody had the same uniform. Back in Kirk time, everybody had the same
original series, it was the same.
But now all of a sudden we get to Discovery, which is pre all that stuff, and they're like, oh, yeah, every ship has a different one.
Well, it goes against what the word uniform means.
Exactly.
Unit being one form.
Yeah, you even bring logic into this. You're bringing logic. That doesn't.
All right. Another thing about Navarre, I think, is what the combined planet is now.
Yeah. I only know the name of the planet because they made such a big deal about being Vulcan, Romulan, Navarre combined, but I don't know any crew member's name on the bridge.
Right.
Why didn't they call it Vulcumulus?
Well, hold on. Why are the Vulcans and Romulans
buddies?
900 years later, not buddies. Not buddies. They still have the same unification problems they had, 800 years because of Spock's time. And it's like, you're going to tell me after 800 years of, and let's say it was, because they said it didn't happen right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe they have the same anger issues, and especially given that the Romulans were part of Vulcan and split away and everything. I don't believe that. I don't believe in 900 years.
Well,
go ahead. No, I want to hear an answer, please.
Because when Burnham is watching the Spock flashback, he says it could take decades, perhaps even centuries, and that's why they did it.
Yeah, but again, they've been living on this planet. Go ahead, Mitch, please.
No, I'm even more confused now because this has nothing to do with the J.J. Abrams shows, because I was wondering about Spock. I go, wait a second. Which Spock are we looking for? The one that was in Picard? The one that's tried to save Romulus because Romulus was going to overheat because they talked about it in Picard. That's why Picard was trying to save them. Did that Spock go back in time and create the Kelvin universe? Is that any part of this?
It's the same Spock, yeah.
But I'm saying,
it's that original Spock. It's original Spock.
That Romulus was blown to bits.
That's the Kelvin universe Romulus.
No. Both Romuluses actually. Original universe Romulus was blown to bits. Spock was trying to prevent that, but he wasn't able to prevent it.
And then you had the whole what were they called? Remans from Nemesis,
right?
And what were they? Weren't they trying to stop the unification going on? I thought they hated.
Yes, from a political standpoint, they were trying to stop it. Yes,
but what happened to those?
I think Romulans? He was just trying to get the Venom to turn into Bane. Because that was Tom Hardy.
That was Hardy.
Presumably, Remus also exploded when Romulus did.
Oh, because that's what I was like, wait a second. Are they part of the new Vulcan, or they got rid of them because they don't?
Well, there might have been surviving Remans. I don't know. Again, because they don't think that us nerds. It's just like in the Picard series when all this shit was happening to the Romulans, and I'm like, I'm sorry, the Vulcans or the Klingons hate the Romulans. What do they think of all this shit? What do they think of the Romulans having a Borg cube? What do they think of Romulus being, out of the, all fucked up and everything? And it's like, those are like questions that us nerds are like, yeah, sorry, man. Anytime there's some shit going down with the Romulans, you always had Worf. Well, we cannot trust the Romulans, all that shit. And it's like, okay, we should know at least even a passing comment of the Klingon High Council certainly disagrees with the Romulans having the Borg cube. That's all, just one thing. And the same thing with this shit with the Romulans and the Vulcans. I
texted you last week. I had to watch that episode over 2 days because I couldn't take it. I watched the first 25 minutes, and it was Thursday. I think it was Thanksgiving Day. I said, fuck it. I'm not watching this. I gave up after 25 minutes because I got so mad at the show when she's like, wait a minute. Do you still respect the policy of Vulcan Waka Waka? Yes. Oh, of course we do. Then you're going to have to do what we say. Stop.
That annoyed
she pulled that out of her ass, and no one else knew about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to scream yet. But then when she figured out the burn happened 1 nanosecond before this one happened, they've been studying this fucking thing for 100 years. And Miss Know-It-All just shows up and, hey, everybody, Scooby-Doo time. Mr. Jenkins was the one that caused the burn. No one put that together. Then they go to the Admiral guy. He's like, holy shit. We're so glad you figured it out. And I'm like, come on. Stop.
Let's put it in our time frames context. That's like if Viking Leif Erikson were to suddenly show up in modern day and be like, I got the cure for COVID. And we,
wow.
I mean, it's like, again,
I missed the part where he bent over to pull it out of his ass.
Well, the better part is I told you, I texted, I said, well, this is what caused the burn. And the thing of it is, it's 100 and something years after the fact. What the hell difference does it make? You're not going to go back and fix it. I'm like, okay, she found out why the Titanic sank or something.
I still adhere to the burn is related to Burnham, and she put a ham in the Discovery microwave.
No, it's definitely going to be her,
and she's the one who caused this.
Yeah, because why would you call it the burn? Why wouldn't you call it like the explosion or the dilithium, whatever, the burn? There's something. Maybe John Byrne's involved because I know he likes Star Trek somehow.
As Dante says, this is the biggest issue with any of the new Trek shows. They pick and choose what they want to touch on in canon. They write stuff that makes hardcore fans scratch our heads and say, what the fuck? Absolutely.
Did you like how the Vulcan defense grid popped up as soon as the ship showed up? No questions about, oh, wow, look, a ship from 900 years ago. Let's talk a little bit. Oh, we heard about you guys coming.
Yeah, they were briefed.
Okay.
Also, like the Vulcans think they caused the burn? And it's like, well, if that were really the case,
they wouldn't have done anything to investigate it or find out.
Exactly.
That's not logical.
And truly, they would take responsibility for it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the Vulcans were always the smartest guy in the room,
right?
And like even going back to Enterprise and like, okay, you say you're ready for deep space. Let's make sure that you are, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but apparently the universe went to shit when Burnham disappeared into the future.
Yeah.
And some of the legacy was carried on by Spock, but when Spock died, then everything went to hell. They didn't know how to do anything.
That's why I went back and watched those episodes, because I wasn't just being a sadist. I said, wait, I got to go see where they put this together. And after the cage thing, I think it was episode 9 or 10, second season, they start talking about how he had the premonition, how she's going to go into the future. And I said, they've been stringing this story really for 2 seasons now. And I go, and it still sucks. Yes, that's what I was watching. I go, you're wasting 2 years on this story idea that Michael Burnham is going to save the galaxy?
And again, and that's why, Mitch, honestly, going back to your point before, that we're only focused on a couple people and that this week's episode for you was confusing. I welcomed this episode because Burnham was only a small part of what was happening to everybody. Yep. And thank fucking God that it took you more than 2 seasons. And I really hope that enough positive feedback comes back that these schmucks realize, maybe we should spread more of the responsibility because we're almost done with the 3rd season and we still got Dreadlock Lady, Eyepiece Guy, Black Guy, Asian guy.
I almost remembered someone's name today. Miss Drebel or something with the...
Which person? Dreadlock Lady?
No, the shaved head with the thing on her side. Detmer. Yeah, I almost... oh my God, I know someone's name tonight. I was like...
Well, and also, I'm sorry. I also love how quickly she's recovered. I'm okay now. Now I'm a hotshot pilot again.
Oh, please. No, but go back. Last week in the Vulcan episode, I did a double take when they were showing the office of the president or whatever her title was. Dude, they had a model that looked like the Doomsday Machine on like a bookshelf. I was like,
what is she? Recognize that. I'll have to look for
that. That's what caught my eye. I'm like, why is the Doomsday Machine there? Are they collecting toys now over in the future? Or maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, that's honestly, those things, we don't know how many of these things.
You're going to go out of your way to throw that in there. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
That's kind of like what was in Lorca's office when he had the skeleton of the Gorn.
Oh yeah,
and he had the live Tribble.
And they never talked about it again. It's like,
So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Boy, that'd be great though.
When they killed him and Pike came in, they just threw that shit out the window.
Yeah.
So,
hey, we got
to redecorate the office. Get rid of this.
What did Michelle Yeoh do last week? Was she on last week's episode?
Yeah.
What was her thing? I know that this week she had an
episode.
She had didn't she have her flashbacks then too? That were bugging her from the previous episode and everything. I mean, they got more fleshed out this week. But I thought she had a couple fugue steak moments and stuff.
See, it's been a week now. I've already blotted it out of my memory.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't remember specifics, but I think she was on. She's all gung-ho to go with Burnham to free Book and Andorian guy. But this week, with Culver, she could be more of an asshole.
Right.
And everything. But here, what else about last week?
I was trying to think, what else happened?
Well, mom dressing Burnham down. And again, Burnham, boy, I'm a Vulcan and you got to do XYZ and all that shit. But at the same time, I'm crying. I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I don't know what to do, Mom. And it's like, fuck you. Are you human or Vulcan? I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm. And then he had Homer Simpson Vulcan. They had a little schism between the Vulcans about who was doing what.
Well, the three factions.
Yeah.
We're for it. We're against it. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Bread and butter. Yeah.
I don't know what that means. But
I thought there'd be more to the Vulcans. It's such a big deal to have them on the show because they are Star Trek. And it was kind of like,
Well, and again, they're fucking with them in a bad way.
They were annoying like everything else about this future. or this crew.
And again, explain to us why they left the Federation. Why did Vulcan, one of the main founders of the Federation, why are they against the Federation? Is there some sort of secret cabal thing going on? I don't know. That the Federation, which seems to be doing all the right stuff and asking the right questions,
Do you think they want us to know about Picard? Like they're hoping that we watched it. They know we probably did, but I'm saying, you think they're tying this into?
I don't know.
Whatever the hell
I don't know. No, I don't. I mean, they did say prior to this season of Discovery that there would be threads to Picard, and clearly, Mom being part of the Warrior Nun Romulans, that speak with full candor. Hey, you suck. You're a great disappointment to me, Michael. You are not the daughter that I had hoped you would be. Your whole crew
on your show sucks.
Sorry, it's just my candor. Can't help it.
When she was crying about Spock, look at how he grew up to be so great. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Again, massive.
Nothing.
Mary Sue. Boy, I'm sure glad that I influenced my brother's life. Look at the job I did on my brother.
I was like, you got a lot of balls for taking credit for that. Fuck.
That's what they wrote. I mean, again, this is so fucking ridiculous. Okay, here. Dante, according to what was said, they pulled out after the burn. Yes. And SP-18.
Oh, I hope if they use protection, they wouldn't have to pull out like that.
Exactly. That's why maybe the rhythm method, though. They might be Catholic. Vulcans, they can keep.
But yeah, again, it's like I don't believe that's why they would pull out. If anything, after 900 years, you would think it's like, all right, we're all in this together.
That's a hell of a lot of foreplay.
Can I talk about another thing that I think it was episode 7? Another thing that bothered me is Burnham and Book. Like they finally did it. They didn't do it for a year and a half, but now all of a sudden this is the episode where we do it, and it happened really fast. Didn't she go in at the very beginning of the episode and bed him down real quick? Or am I mistaken?
Now, I remember them kissing a lot, but I thought it was a couple weeks ago. Last week they banged each other? I don't even remember.
Didn't she go in at the very beginning of the...
Yeah, she woke up to go to her duties, right? Then her new days...
as only science officer.
Yeah, so the end of the previous one is when she went in to go see him, right? And then she woke up in the place. I forget, but...
Something like that.
They got nice quarters for a person that has a low-ranking position like that,
Well, she's still the chief science officer.
Well, she might be sleeping in... Why are they carrying his giant ship around in their ship, by the way? The thing is the size of the entire shuttle bay. I was like, what the fuck?
Again,
they needed it for this episode.
The size of the ships is ridiculous compared to what they were during Kirk's real time. I mean, that's good Lord, that fucking in the Pike Enterprise, that the turbo lift that's on the cable cars, like it's a goddamn roller coaster or whatever. It's like all that empty space. It's like that's not how spaceships are made, man. No. Space is space inside the ship is like a premium.
Submarine. Yeah,
it's like a submarine, exactly, man. So, so fucking annoying.
Dante
says that them getting down was at the end of 6.
At the end of last week, I wanted to. You said fuck Star Trek. I wrote back to you, fuck Star Trek. I was like, if I never saw this again, I could give a shit less. I was so mad about how she saved everything and the Vulcans looked stupid. And I'm like, come on, man, really? What the hell?
Again, that tribunal was ridiculous. Just again, the only good part to me was watching Mom dress her down.
Yeah.
Was anyone else concerned with them lighting torches inside the and all the smoke filling it? I hope they had good ventilation in that.
I caused the burn.
Although Worf had his
yes
burning incense when he was trying to see Kalis. Yeah. That's one of my favorite cold opens is when Riker passes Worf's corners. Is like,
what the hell's burning in here?
And then he walks in and he sees Worf, and Worf's eyes are crossed with like just delirium, like, and it's just like this great fade to black. I just love it. It cracked me up. I saw Kalis. Yeah, enough. Hey, we got a little fire hazard here, dumbass. Commander, dumbass.
The sprinklers on deck 12 are not working. Can we get somebody on that, please?
There's a towel rolled up underneath his door. I don't know what's going on in there.
Oh, my God. I saw Kalis.
She had a black light on in there, too.
A lava lamp going up.
Yeah, let's talk about that episode. That's a much better episode. And then, and then, God, I love everything about that episode.
I like how your word balloon logo covers up my Michael Burnham crying photo. It looks like he's saying, I love the word balloon.
Here, I'll take it down and we can look at her crying and get angry.
You can move us. Drag me and move me up there, and it'll move him down.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Look at her crying. Great actress. If they need an actress who can cry on
hold on, I can do it.
And I'll move Mitch, so I'll be on the bottom. There you go. Good. We should make that. It should be one of our lobby cards that we're all crying like Burnham.
You gotta
That's
get
very
the tears
good.
coming down.
Sad clown. Dumbass. Good
I'm
Lord.
so happy.
Oh man.
Anyway,
move on to the new episode.
This week.
We're done.
We go back to Books Planet.
Yeah.
Now we're learning a little bit more about the Orions, the Emerald Chain, which sounds racist to me.
Yep.
Sounds like a sex act.
Well, there's green-skinned people, so the Emerald Chain.
I like the fact that they gave a little bit to every crew member in this one, but little things bothered me. Like I'll give you an example. The pronouns for the Trill girl, I forget her name.
God, I'm so glad you brought that up. I would have forgotten, but yes, Adira is her name.
It wasn't. I didn't have a problem with the way she wanted to be addressed with her pronouns. What I did have a problem with is how far in the future are you, and you need to be taught this now, and then you're flung 3,000 years in the future, and then you need to be taught that there.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Again,
it's over the head with it.
It's bad fan service, but that's what it is. Oh, look. Wow. They're having the same problems that I am. And again, I don't mean to say that in a pejorative way to mock non-binary people that want to be addressed that way. I get it.
See, if I was doing this, I
would. You hope that in 2,000 years or whatever it is from our century that and frankly, kind of think they would have gotten it by then. Gotta be honest.
They should have just came in. If she had said it right away, and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, got it." Instead of being like, this, that, next time to explain it. And I get having to explain it partially for the audience.
I don't.
But still, I don't think it's something that should have been done and should have been inherent in the crew because we've gone through this already.
It could have just been a simple, she's amazing. I prefer to be called they. Okay.
And then move on.
Problem solved instead of big dramatic.
Because
I almost wanted to put a clock on it to see how long, like, gee, I hope this is okay. And it's like, fuck you,
and
writers,
not only that,
for not acknowledging it would have been solved by then.
But you know what it brought up to mind is Gene Roddenberry had this idea of what the future should be. Uhura was never referred to. Oh my God, there's a black woman on the bridge. It was never referred to.
Right. The Lincoln episode, Charming Negress.
Yeah. Exactly. But that was a throwaway line because it was Lincoln, right? I mean, hokey as Lincoln is on the bridge, but it was a throwaway line that explained everything.
Yeah.
And it should have been the same thing here, is what I'm saying.
I agree. I agree. And they were basically placating this fake Lincoln, like, okay, if you are real, let's explain. But no, I agree, man. No, it's I prefer.
Not only did they say it once, but they hit you over the head with that scene for about 3 minutes because then the doctor came in. How are they doing? They're doing fine. I'm like, we already said that he's sorry for not.
No, that I was okay with. The explanation part is what I had issue with because if you're in the future, you should have already known this type thing.
It's just like in the second season. When they had the long shot of a corridor and all these crew members moving around, and they had a guy in a wheelchair. And it's just like, again, that's bad fan service of, hey, look, you're with us then. It's like, yeah, of course they are. But in the future, you got prosthetic legs. You've got
you have
the sensors
Pike's,
that they put on
Pike's wheelchair.
Yeah.
Floating chair. Yeah.
Beep. Yeah. And then, okay, well, you said you guys all like this episode, but here's why I started getting nuts about it.
No. I said that like parts of this episode.
The first, what's her name again? The girl with the things?
Detmer.
Yeah.
Detmer.
I'm a hotshot crackjack pilot. I'm doing this, and she's flying around, but she was just having those like PTSD moments a couple of weeks ago. But now everything's cool, like she's in Top Gun, and she's like whipping around. I go, do you really want the person that was having flashbacks flying around? But hey, we're all right with that.
Well, as they said in the previously on Star Trek, they showed that near-death moment with the ship where Dreadlock Lady's like, "Hey, nice going."
Yeah.
And Detmer's like, "That was a little too close. It shouldn't have been that close." Acknowledging that she had a problem, but you're right. No, now she's fine. Everything's great.
Then, I swear, poor Michelle Yeoh, her tongue must be in traction because she was doing some dialogue. I was like, what the hell did she just say to the guy? She's
in
like,
the mess hall.
Yeah. She was like, yeah.
In the mess hall?
I was like, whoa, slow it down. What is happening here? What is she talking about? So,
and then Culver, and if I had my way, you'd be dead. And if you had a child, I would have killed it. And if I had a child, I would have taken it to a department store. And it's like, what?
What the hell?
His response back was like, it was basically that.
If I had time, I'd have children or something.
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
Good comeback. Way to go, Culver.
I killed my mother. No, we know you didn't kill your mother. I'm like, okay.
Oh, infuriatingly stupid. Langley points out, yes, we did. We all know it. We all saw it last week when Adira said that Stamets was da bomb.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why didn't they say faux shizzle, for Christ's sake?
That's the same reason she had to explain they, them to everybody, because, she knows the bomb and she knows they, them. But
that's like in Star Wars, The Last Jedi, the guy's like, we have to get through that big ass door. I go, did they really say big ass door in a
galaxy far away?
Yeah, I guess so. Yo, look at the big ass Death Star.
What are you talking about? Porkins had a big ass. I think that's.
I know, just a little. It's just, they're trying to be hip, man.
Ed says everybody recognize the world of the story is just like real life. Just call it Star Trek lampshading. Indeed. Yeah. No, it's annoying. It's
you like Saru trying to come up with a catchphrase? I go, really? That's what you're worried about?
Yeah, that was hokey too.
Or should it be like, hit it? I'm like, how about press that fucking button?
I hated every minute of that.
Trying to be funny. That's
exactly. No,
I like that they had it narrowed down to 3, and that was Pike. Yeah. So maybe you could do it differently than he did. I'm like, really, this is what you're
they're worried about. Well, that's who he picked for his first.
Because I totally missed that scene with Picard and Riker going, should I engage? No. Commence. Yeah. Which one do you like better?
What was Riker's? Riker's was a jazz thing, right? It was like 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did it? Which I did laugh at. That was a good moment. That's one of the rare lower deck moments that I did actually.
Oh, they did some bizarre math tonight. They were talking about how long something would take at warp speed to get somewhere, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, I thought they didn't.
Well, back to Book's planet. Yeah.
Book's
and again, right at warp speed, it's like I thought you can't do that.
I was like, I thought no one had warp speed or whatever. But I like how it was fall foliage time on his planet. It looked pretty with all the leaves down. Somebody's got to rake that shit up, though.
Those were the locusts.
The little
stuff.
That's why there's a lot of forest fires on that planet. Nobody's raking it up.
Nobody's raking it up.
They were empaths because they talked to those whale things in that second episode. But tonight, it was him and his brother. Don't call me brother. It's kind of corny. Whatever, But they could talk to those little tiny
blue things.
Well, they couldn't move them because there were too many of them.
What exactly did the Discovery do to those things? Beam them out of there at the end? I was like, what happened?
They amplified the two brothers' empathic things, which, by the way, I didn't know when you were empathic that it's a computer readout on your forehead to tell you.
Well, that's if you got AM or FM going while you're being,
Let me connect to the Bluetooth and we're all good.
But they basically Bluetoothed it. They Bluetoothed it to a speaker so the whole area could hear it, and they moved them off.
Oh, wow.
Now, if they really wanted to tie continuity, they could have gone back to that first season episode of Discovery where they went to that one planet that had all the harmonics going on that had nothing to do with anything of the main story. And it was one of the things that drove me nuts. Like, what was the point of that hour other than a waste of script, I guess? So
I loved how he had a huge grand piano and she was playing the cello. I'm like, where the hell did they put that aboard a ship? It's like, hey, they don't have a holodeck yet. That's not on this ship because it's before the holodeck technology.
That's right.
But we have a baby grand piano.
Yeah, he's got a little side closet off to the side. He just pulls it out when he needs it.
All Spock had was that little tiny
his harp.
His harp is Lorette.
Vulcan harp. Yeah.
And then Data had what? He had an instrument.
He had a violin.
A violin. Riker had a trombone. This fucking guy's got a baby grand piano. I was like, imagine we're packing up to go aboard a ship. It's like, what are you bringing? Oh, I got this. Like,
hey, help me with my amplifiers.
Help me with the Steinway.
I got this, and I want to get the fog machine for tonight's performance. Let's pull that out too.
And doesn't he have work to do? Can't they be working on the burn?
I don't mind them. I don't mind them jamming on their downtime.
Jamming.
It didn't occur to me that maybe a baby grand piano There's not room for it.
I know. I was just like, where did that come from?
And it's in our future. He doesn't have like a Casio keyboard or something like that.
It would have been good if he had. Remember that Casio thing from the '80s with the keyboard?
A guitar.
The one that
had that. That would have been more acceptable to me. You know?
Or Picard's girlfriend in Astrophysics.
Oh shit!
That rolled out the keyboard.
Yes.
And it played like a piano and stuff. Yeah, man.
Fuck.
That was 100 years later.
Where the hell did
I figured out a way of having more space on the starship.
There's so much.
We got the rollout
keyboard. They got it from that guy. Remember the guy on Discovery? He had the whole piano. I can't bring a whole piano on the Enterprise. Can we make it like a roll-up piano thing?
And Kirk had that little workout area where he would go with that other. Remember they with Charlie X? It's like the size of like a closet.
Yeah, but I don't mind wrestling.
Exactly. That's all they had. You know, a couple pieces of.
What are you talking about? Their cafeteria is fucking huge.
Whatever.
Maybe that's where they keep the pianos in the cafeteria.
And then the cat was on board the ship, and the Andorian got nervous about it. I'm like, he didn't notice the cat before. Fuck it.
If you don't know Langley, Stamets was the one that had the piano. But
yes. Oh, sorry.
He didn't see the episode.
Or maybe we weren't clear.
We're not.
Sorry.
It's not.
We don't mean to spoil Langley.
No, it's not a huge thing.
No, but it's ridiculous and fun. And all right, there was what else about
tonight's?
Yeah, well, and I was thinking of something with Adira. Maybe we already talked about it. I'm trying to. Well, yeah, like you said. I mean, the stuff you said, Franco, in terms of Adira. And now I don't remember even what it was, but I've been annoyed.
You want to be called they and them?
Yeah, the whole non-binary thing being such a big deal. And also, isn't it weird that the gay couple and the non-binary character are just like they're the ones that like shouldn't it be? This is what drives me nuts about this show. They beat their chest about how woke they are, but really, when you think about it, they compartmentalize every race and every orientation because, like, shouldn't Book be hanging out with Saru or getting to know other crew members? Does everything? All right, the black people are over here. The gay people are over here with the non-binary.
The turtle people are over there. Get the turtle people away.
It just kind of seems like there's a lot of compartmentalizing going on. And again, I just it's one of the greatest things about Roddenberry's vision of Star Trek was, and that's why the whole non-binary argument. It's like, no, they're encountering alien races. You don't think humanity has its shit together enough to just be like, oh, okay, you want to be non-binary?
You don't think they haven't they intercepted or encountered aliens that were like asexual or non-binary before and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was a mother or just a Horta. It was rock minerals. You didn't know what the hell that was.
How did they get down? I'd like to see some Horta pornography, please. Wow, look at the way they made that cave.
Wow. Pain.
That's the S&M Horta section of the video store. Mm-hmm. You know, they have to go by the beaded curtain
like
to get that
thing in the beginning to show how badass that Orion woman was. She made it eat her nephew. The psychic worm thing was coming together.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. I do want to learn more about the Emerald Chain. I want to know what turned the Andorians away from the Federation. Because, again, another founding race that seems to have now aligned themselves with the Orion Syndicate.
That was the other thing. I need to tell you something.
What, they cut off his
I know the secrets of the
Book and his brother.
The Andorian. He goes, they would terrorize us with tales of Starfleet sleepaway camps, summer camps.
And she said, "Oh, we don't have those or whatever." I'm like,
I was watching and I went, my face did that. Well, Starfleet summer camps.
Dude, they only started sleepaway camps about 50 years ago. Let's not be.
No, but the fact that the Andorian is bringing this up because that's what they would tell him as a kid.
Yeah.
That they would take him to Starfleet summer camp.
They've had sleepaway camps more than 50 years ago. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, we're 9,000 years in the future at this point. I would assume that they've evolved besides summer camp.
It's the Federation bus. You're going to camp on Rigel 7, and that's final. I don't want to go.
I want to go.
The crew of the lower deck.
How come the guy gets to go to piano camp? I want to go to band camp like the engineer guy did.
Exactly, Starfleet band camp.
Well, they went to that planet with the poolside cabanas.
What's his name? Anthony Rapp?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No That's offense, but his line delivery. My God, man, could this guy ever get pissed off about even when he was playing pissed off at that dinner party? Comes across as so like, I'm gonna get mad at you. It's like, oh,
everything is like I said. He looks like Tucker Carlson on his show, where everything annoys him, and he's confused by it.
Even when he was playing the piano.
Yeah, how am I doing this?
See, thank God we can find humor in this shit.
In his eyes. To give him are there like contacts to give him a weird, or is that his blue eyes? There's something about his eyes when he's always like, maybe they got something.
But you got to look more confused. You got the right head tilt, but you got to look more confused and annoyed.
The head tilt, yeah. No, you got to do it smiling, like.
Yeah, he does kind of have the half smile. Ugh, shit, complete shit. Every goddamn.
So what happened tonight's episode? What did it contribute to the story? Other than
we know that the Andorians, we know that stuff.
Yeah.
We got a little more information on the Emerald Chain, the Orions that are kind of, again, strong arming the rest of the planets. I did find it again conflictingly interesting that Starfleet is aware of a lot of stuff that's happening on a bunch of different worlds, being intimidated by the Emerald Chain, but they don't have the resources to do anything about it.
That sounds so stupid for a bad guy's name, doesn't it?
Oh, Emerald Chain?
The Avon ladies coming. Fuck no, not
that. Sounds like a band playing tonight. It's Emerald Chain. Followed by Stamets Piano.
Man. Blue Oyster Cult.
We
Stamets
learned
Piano is opening for Emerald Chain.
We learned throughout the seasons that Detmer is a badass pilot, but tonight's episode we saw it with our own eyes.
Yeah.
We learned that.
Cool. Yeah. And we saw Saru trying to come up with an engage phrase. Yeah. Let's hit it.
And Tilly had her little, it said pad. Did you see that? PADD? They're still calling it the pad thing when she was doing the little, whatever you want to call it. What was that movie with Tom Cruise where they had the
Minority Report?
She was doing her Minority Report. Oh, yeah. Blackberry in space.
Yeah. Dante says Stamets has always had those blue eyes.
And did he? Okay.
Brent back in the day on Broadway.
I got blue eyes, but he got real blue eyes.
No, they're beautiful.
Mine are his.
No, I meant his, unfortunately. There you go. Jesus Christ. You're freaking me out, man. Hey, Marty Feldman, pull him back in your head. Jesus Christ. What the hell are you doing? Pink Floyd, stupid name, but great band. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vic. We're used to Pink Floyd's name.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, but they got nothing on Emerald Chain.
Oh, no, she brought the little kid on the Book's nephew.
Book's nephew, yeah.
And, I love children. And then there was a whole thing going on there where she's smiling and he's smiling. And I want to be part of the crew now. What the fuck? Okay.
Oh, no, that to me is like Joey on Airplane,
Yeah.
That's all right.
Isn't it sad that we pick apart this whole episode, but yet we found it so much better because Burnham wasn't in it a lot?
Yeah.
Well,
what does that tell you?
Did she save the? No, she didn't save the day. Well, she did. She knew how to do that harmonizing.
No, she came up with the Bluetooth.
And she saved Book from being murdered by his brother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever. Great. Fantastic. And we'll see what happens with Giorgio and her freakouts.
Yeah, how is that going to all come into play? I'm thinking, how are they going to wind this thing up in 3 episodes?
Please. Well, no, we'll get stuff that whatever. And even if it's the question is, will it actually fit into the big story, or is this just another side thing for Giorgio to do?
Yeah.
Because it seems to be tied to the Mirror Universe. Obviously, she killed somebody in the Mirror Universe that she has great regret over. Maybe it was Burnham. Maybe she killed Burnham.
Oh boy, lucky her.
Maybe that's why she wants to help him all the time.
Make sense because when regular universe Burnham went to the Mirror Universe and was able to pretend to be Mirror Universe Burnham, so I guess that doesn't make sense. I don't know.
So this is episode 8. There's 12 or 13.
I couldn't remember. I want to look that up.
Okay, because I'm like,
I know how much more do we have to endure?
Wrap this sucker up soon.
And then what's the next show coming down the pike after that?
Prodigy,
that's right.
So yeah.
Followed by AOL.
Yeah, nice. Exactly.
Star Trek AOL. They go back into the 90s.
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh.
That would be awesome.
That's the sound of the ship.
It's dropping. It's only 56.6 Mbps. I need more power. 14.4 is not doing it.
We're buffering, Captain. We're buffering.
That's the sound of the engines.
That's all you hear. Boom.
Okay.
You have mail.
We're season 3.
Right. I can't devote much more time in my life to this.
The show?
Believe me, I understand.
No, last week you started saying, I don't know if I need Trek anymore. I started thinking to myself, I go, yeah, I think this ship has sailed. It's kind of like Star Wars in me. It's like, I love it. I love The Mandalorian, but the rest of the stuff, I'm like, oh, no.
I never thought I'd be that disillusioned by Star Trek before, because I mean, there's been bad episodes before, but this is getting to the point where I'm like,
there's a time for everything.
Like I said, I never thought it would happen with me with Doctor Who, but I pretty much stopped watching Doctor Who because it got ridiculous. And Star Trek is certainly flirting with that with me, and I can't believe it because I've certainly been watching Star Trek a lot longer than Doctor Who. It's 13 episodes. So we have 5 left. We have 5 more.
Oh,
so it better get good in like 2 episodes, or that's it. What the fuck? 9? It's like a Netflix.
Next week is
9.
Know
how Netflix is like 13 episodes, and right around 8 or 9, it's shitty, and then it gets good at the 10, 11, 12 part. You're like, we're right about the shitty part right about now.
What were the first 8 episodes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what are you talking about? I think we've been stuck in the shitty part since 2017. Who the fuck are you kidding?
Happened.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing's happened.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Netscape Star Trek Langley says.
All right.
Netscape.
Maybe we'll be back next week. Who knows?
Oh no. Like I said, I texted these guys today, and they're both like, and I'm like, you got to keep watching unless if you don't, then they win.
They win. I said, I surrender.
And it's the truth. No, we have to, enough of us Star Trek fans have to be out there. And again, we all want good Star Trek. And it's so funny. My old college roommate is just catching up. And he's like, I think it's great. And it's like, okay.
Ordway asked me today if he should buy the seasons on DVD for his daughter for a Christmas present. I go, dude, save yourself the money. Get it for 1 month. Binge watch all the stuff and get rid of it. Don't spend $30 on the DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever the hell.
Totally.
I would be disappointed if I spent $30 on Picard.
And I haven't even been watching The Ready Room. I'm so angry.
Oh no, neither have I. Kim, every time I watch it, it says, "Hey, Will Wheaton's on it." I don't give a shit.
You know, I did though. There's an audio podcast that Chase Masterson, Lita from Deep Space Nine hosts, and it's called Disco Nights, and they really do cover all new Trek. I don't know if they did Lower Decks, but they definitely did all the seasons of Discovery and Picard, and they are. That's the positive podcast. Oh yeah, well, you know, I got to be honest. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They love the show. And the people they have on love the show as well.
She's from my hometown, so I have to be.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, her name is not. Well,
that's fine. I don't care. Betsy, whatever.
Christine Carafano. That's her real name.
Oh! Hey, have you seen Christine Carafano?
Yeah, she was talking. I said, "There's nobody from West Haven called Chase Masterson. No way."
She took over for Pinky Tuscadero.
Yeah, basically, and I knew exactly where she lived too. I go, "Oh, Carafano."
I was, it's sad because she did a great audio podcast at the really early years of podcasting, 2005 and 6. In fact, it was on while Enterprise was still on, and she would do these incredible cast member interviews with not only the Enterprise crew, but Takei and a lot of the former stars of both Next Generation and the other shows. And her last episode, she had Brandon Braga on talking about that last episode of Enterprise. And it was great because they would allow for live questions from the audience. And I give Brandon Braga a lot of credit because people are like, that was really disappointing to have Riker and Troy on the last episode of Enterprise. It's a disservice to the crew. And he was like, and he's said this a million times, as has Rick Berman, hey, we were saying goodbye to the franchise in general. We thought we were doing this. We understand the response, but we thought we were doing a good thing. And it was a really good interview show. But this one is all just propaganda about how great Star Trek is, and isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful that they have these characters? Isn't it? And it's like, boy, we're watching two different shows. Clearly, isn't it interesting not only politically but culturally, you can have the different responses to a piece of art. I guess that's the way art is, that it hits people in different ways. But now that I think about it, in the midst of this year and the divisions we've seen politically and stuff, that we have again two different groups of people that seem to like the same basic thing and come away from it with very different observations and opinions.
Yeah.
Deep Thoughts by John Suntress.
I've been smoking too much weed, clearly.
Everyone has different pinches of art. I like art. I think you draw pretty good, don't you, Franco?
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
By the way, go out and buy Archimaniacs. Comes out next Tuesday.
There was a new one of your books was new at the comic shop yesterday.
Yeah, the Tiny Titans. That's right over.
Yeah, the collection.
Yep.
And then the Archimaniacs.
Hold on. Do it again.
Oh, sorry. This one's out in stores this week. Ooh, and this one's out in stores next week.
Wow.
Carol Merrill.
I like it.
And by the way, I ate 31-year-old cereal last Friday on the Mitch and Ed Excellent Adventure, the Batman cereal. I opened it up live on camera.
Did it disintegrate in your mouth like quickly?
No, you know what's so funny? It was
stay crispy in milk.
It did stay crispy in milk. It smelled like dust, which was weird, and it tasted like styrofoam peanuts, like those packing things.
How do you know what styrofoam peanuts taste
like? You don't want to know.
Well,
but
exactly.
Anyway, I ate 3 mouthfuls of it. I spit the entire thing out on the first one because it was more psychological. I was like, oh, God, I can't believe I'm eating this. But, hey, we got a couple hundred views already, so it's all about the views, buddy. It's all about the views. And coming up next, I'm going to drink 20-something-year-old Mountain Dew from the Phantom Menace.
Why?
Yeah, it's still because we need to get ratings. We can't be John Suntress talking to Franco every week, and we're trying to make money. So
I'm sorry, guys. I have a Mainframe Comic-Con business meeting that I have to attend, so we have to wrap up, and I can't stay for the post interview as well. There you go. Good bat thing there. I like it,
yeah, baby.
So we'll come back next week. We'll talk episode 9. Thanks a lot for watching. Great questions, everybody. Live long and prosper, and all the other bullshit. While we struggle through another episode.
I may skip next week, but yeah.
Are you really? Is that possible?
No.
Burn, baby, burn. Disco.
I'm looking for. There it is. Okay. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon.